Alright, guys, we're back. Another Dokkan Battle video. We'll pump out some hot takes. Been a little bit since we've done one. Usually, I mean, content drop day. It wasn't really the craziest content drop day or anything, but, you know, we did have kind of like the Black Friday stuff going on, right? So, oh yeah, actually, our last hot takes video was a couple of days ago. Look at that, guys. Couple of days of that one. Are we all proud? Bro, they're fiending. Y'all are fiend for another one of these. Let's jump in. People who claim that AGL Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is a boring unit. Yeah, I mean, I definitely do not think he's boring. I think one thing that really helps him not be boring, by the way, just immediately, is, I don't know, having the best animations in Dokkan history does kind of help that out quite a bit. But when we would say he's boring, I mean, to me, characters who are, like, top 5 level are not boring. Like, it's no way. But it's just like, you know, he just kind of, like, super guaranteed crit, super guaranteed crit, super guaranteed crit, and then he's like guarding with damage reduction. Like a lot of what's a good word here? Maybe contrarians will be like, oh my god, it's boring. But like, I'm sorry, like they're just not gonna drop a character like this who is, you know, top 5 level, and then he's boring. It's just not, no. And then not when like his animations look like this. Like there's nothing boring about using this. I've found. I mean, you guys can let me know if you feel differently, but I do not think that this guy's boring. Hell no, dude. Hell no. And then just ends right there. Oh, man, he looks good. That boy looks good. Unit feels like easily the best game in the game on their full youth setup. Okay, remember, this is... Oh, we're now quite a ways away since this hot take thread was made. I mean, outside of, like, Goma now exists, right? But I do agree that Trunks and Goten, they feel like the most explosive character in the game to me. Just with the variety of things they're able to do. They have multiple different ways they could support between their active. They have this right here, which is pretty huge. And then they also have this right here. When they receive a super attack, they're giving, like, it's a lot. They do a lot. I think, like, I've had fun with this design philosophy that they did for 2 characters here. They did this for the Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, and then Golden, Frieza, and Gogeta also got kind of, again, this design philosophy of make the character ridiculously super broken, but at the same time, it's like their team can be a little bit underwhelming. It's kind of like the yin and the yang for it, right? Is kind of the issue that we have seen. But I mean, I would agree. Like the Trunks and Goten part, if we're running a full youth team, they do feel like either number 1 or on par, like number 1 position for sure. Most underrated character right now. People talk about Frieza like he's AGL Vegeta or something. Yeah, it is true. It just is very specific. Remember, this fight is, I mean, good and bad. Certainly now, I think I've hammered it down to, people would absolutely despise this fight, if it had attempt limits, I think. This Goku Black and Zamasu fight. Wait, I clicked the wrong one, didn't I? This Goku Black and Zamasu fight right here. Max buffs Goku Black. So that's after you hit him, 10 times, and Zamasu is around, and he's fully built up. It's like a tool of evil that people use, right? Like, it's the way I've described calcs in this community as well. For a lot of people, I think calcs are just kind of like neutral, and then it just depends how the person doing the calcs, like an agenda they want to push or whatever, right? Like, I think that this Goku Black is very similar. A lot of people will just use his damage, and especially in particular his, you know, nearly built up damage, just as like a tool to say this character's ass or this character's ass. When in truth, when this guy's fully built up, there's almost nothing that could stand in front of it besides just outright dodging, right? Like, people will say, oh, well, the character dies to max buffs Goku Black. It's like, outside of physical Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta transformed and a dodging character, like, you're not going to get a lot of characters who are eating this. He's just hitting way too hard. So, it's, keep that in mind, right? Like, it's, people use that fight, and specifically Goku Black's damage, to just kind of like, you know, agenda farm whatever agenda they're looking for. I find this character to be the most interesting tag character, like the best utilization of the tag mechanic to me does feel like this Golden Frieza and Gogeta, I would say. I do like them quite a bit. I think that they're really fun. I think that they're a very strong character as well. Firm believer, anything lesser hype can be anniversary or GDC if paired with something juicy. Okay, before I read the rest or look at the images or anything, yes, but that's exactly why we could get into the thing where, like, a lot of people disagree with me, but I do really like the 6 LRs we did for the 10th anniversary, and I do think, like, they're, like, what people are really crying about is, like, I think, like, designs. That's got not really much to do with it, right? Like, I think 11th anniversary, if they do 6 LRs, that would get the most chance, I think, of getting something of lesser hype in one of those time slots. If they just do a 4 character celebration, one of these lesser hype units that people really want is just probably not going to make an appearance, right? But if there's 6 slots, I mean, it's much more likely, right? Like, I think Dokkan can do the 6 slot thing more successfully. I think if the year in terms of power creep was similar to 2023 too, it would help. Like, remember, this year is a little bit weird, and people just say, oh, the 10th anniversary unit sucked, rather than identify what actually happened, which was they went from, 10 turn fight, like, unit kits designed around that, to turn 1, this monstrosity, right? And so all characters before this fight, outside of a handful, Tao, Tien, AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku, most other characters just completely get washed by this fight, right? Like, and a lot of these other GDC fights, because it's so when I'm like going on and on and on about, I think GDC power creep is the worst thing Dokkan did in 2025. Maybe me just saying that alone doesn't really get the point across, but it's like the GDC power creep, but also kind of the swap in design philosophy, which is intentional to power creep all those start of the year characters, right? So, all right, so just getting that out of the way, let's come back. So, okay. So this would be an absolute 10 out of 10 11th anniversary. Tag. Oh, I mean, I don't... Okay. They're not going to introduce these guys as a tag. I mean, I could see where you're going with this. So make them a tag, Beast and Orange a tag, and then DKP and Kid Piccolo. Or DKP and Kid Goku. But what would be the parts? Like, are you, like... So we're saying part 1 would be, like, Daima, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and then Demon King Piccolo? They're not going to do that. Like, it's just not, like, I don't think that's realistic. Because, like, it's like there'll be 2 banners, and Demon King Piccolo will be almost virtually untouched, right? And it's just, everyone is summoning for this character. Another reason why I think what they did with the 6 LRs worked well, because you had the Dokkan Fest. Let's just say the Dokkan Fest would be Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And then we would have, a Carnival banner, and then, in there you could have DKP and another character, I would say, of at least, like, middle hype. Maybe, like, Majin Vegeta. So it'd be, like, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Demon King Piccolo, and Majin Vegeta. And then part 2 could be maybe Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo as, like, a tag character. Kid Goku. And then, like, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta would be the Dokkan Fest. Adult Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. Something like that is, I think, much more realistic. Although, remember, Demon King Piccolo does need a Dokkan Fest. Like, remember, there's characters that need, like, oh, they need an LR or they need a Dokkan Fest or whatever. Demon King Piccolo is a character that needs a Dokkan Fest, more so than an LR. Although, I'm not really satisfied with his 2 pitiful free-to-play LRs either. But, yeah, I mean, it's just... I mean, it's the elephant in the room. We're always talking about this, but, like, I mean, you guys get it, man. Like, look, like, Legends dropped Super Gogeta and Janemba as part 1 for their Legends Fest, right? Which, we could see his profile picture is the Legends Limited Janemba, which is that's the first legendary finished Legends Limited Janemba, right? So that would, so that would essentially be the Legends Limited legendary finish is a Dokkan event, essentially, right? So, like, that would be, like, Baby. Babies needed a Dokkan event. I think that Baby to Janemba is kind of a good comparison, although I'd say Janemba's a more popular villain. He's more kind of interesting in his techniques, and he does match up with Gogeta, so that does, I think, just kind of put Janemba on a higher level than Baby. I mean, people will say, oh, Baby's writing and all that. That's all well and good, but, like, again, that's the elephant in the room. Like, all that, like writing and all this type of shit. I mean, when we're talking about, like, gacha game characters and, like, you know, like fighters dropping characters and all this shit, like, they're looking for the big hype popular stuff. It is what it is. But my point was, you know, they dropped Janemba, who needed a Dokkan Fest or Legends Limited as part 1, and there's been a lot of complaints about Janemba was not, like, you know, hype enough. I've seen that from Legends players, right? So, I mean, personally, I do kind of like Janemba and Gogeta. Like, I do kind of like the intro of it. Because remember, Legends Fest will have 3 parts with banners, right? Part 1, part 2 will be something different, right? Like, you know, maybe they'll go to, like, Superhero or whatever, right? They'll have a couple of Legends Limiteds. And then part 3 is where they would end typically with an Ultra. So, you know, we'll see. But, yeah, we're always going to be talking about this type of stuff, but it's just very rare you're going to see like these types of characters. I do think Demon King Piccolo and Kid Goku can be a successful part of one of these types of celebrations, though, right? Like, either like a part of Anniversary or GDC or something. I do think they can make this work. I do think so. In one of these, like, of all the combos of, like, you know, kind of like lessons. By the way, this moment, I do not like this art of Kid Goku. By the way, wow, this is the first time I've really, like, zoomed. This does not look as good. Like, it doesn't look that good to me. I don't like Goku's face or something. I don't know. It doesn't. Yeah, very rarely do I not think Legends artwork kicks ass, but this Goku's, like, face, there's something about it. It doesn't look like. Let me just pull up the Dokkan one. He's a youth category character. There's not many youth characters. Here he is, right here. This. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about it. I don't know. Like, it's his face, his hair. Not a fan of this Kid Goku drawing right here. Like the artwork is, like, you know, the whole thing is good, but, like, the way Goku's face is bothering me. But I was going to say, like, this is such a legendary, iconic moment, right? Like, you know, Piano and Demon King Piccolo being like, what the fuck? It's him? Right? Oh, my God. That shit is... That's... Toriyama was... I mean, dude, I don't know what was Toriyama on with some of these moments, man. How did he do it? How did he do it? It's crazy. By a landslide, best part of any celebration in Dokkan history. It certainly did feel up there. Yeah, I breathed so much life into the game in those. Okay, this guy DKD is a huge villain guy. I mean, you could sell his profile pic. Huge villain guy, right? So yeah, I mean, Omega is on the short list of 1, 2, or 3 best villain team of all time. I do think when we talk about these best villain teams of all time, it's not surprising because I'm going to reference something from 6 fucking years ago. But I do think people these days tend to forget this guy in these talks. Not this guy, who everyone is well aware of, but this guy on release. People forget about this demon right here. Makes sense because this is, you know, he was Halloween, right? I think he was Halloween. I'm actually kind of curious here. How can I quickly get back there? Because I can't search, you know, obviously on the Japanese site, I can't search cooler. It would be nice. I guess we could just go, like, Terrifying Conquerors, though. Right here. Oh, there he is right there. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so he was Halloween, right? Yeah, Halloween 2019. This guy was a demon, dude. He was crazy. And people, like, just don't, you know, because I'm sure there's a lot of players now who weren't playing back then. This guy was nuts, dude. Like, this guy has a very high up villain team, and it does hit the cutoff of, again, what I personally consider modern Dokkan, which my counter for modern Dokkan starts with 2019, right? Because that's when kind of like the pattern sort of releases that Dokkan holds to even to this day, outside of, you know, kind of like, you know, when they're bringing new stuff in from like Superhero or anything like that, right? Like the new content. The release pattern that they start in 2019 is still kind of what they go with to this day. 95% of people obviously extremely happy with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Up his animations, and the Extreme Class fans. Yeah, remember, it's not even about Omega. So I mean, yeah, Omega's great, right? Like nothing about him, but it's what they did around Omega that made this a reality. By the way, Nova, who when paired with Omega is one of the best free to play characters of all time. This guy's situational, but situationally he could be very good. Super easy Omega. Sin is probably the best sub EZA of all time, or at least in the discussion, with maybe, Tech God Goku, for example, right? This is a god tier free to play EZA, and it's just like, we're off to the races. That's the thing with villains. We're never going to be like, oh man, we're short on super class characters. It's like pretty much never going to be a thing because there's so many Super Saiyan forms that are going to be popping out. But, what is going to be a very common thing is villains need help. We need more villains. I mean, villains more so, I think, even than superclass characters. Outside of, like, GT Super Saiyan 4s, their links add so much power to them. But villains really do rely heavily on, like, these, like, especially this, like, look at this. Big Bad Bosses and Shadow Dragons is, two links is 45% attack and defense. That's two links, right? Like, so villains, like, you can't just drop a villain. I mean, you can if they're super crazy, but they got to get help. And I think that's one of the things that was so successful about that second part of the GDC is they correctly gave Omega enough help, right? And then even after that, all these characters, Golden Frieza and Gogeta, AGL, EZA, Golden Frieza, Baby, these characters just keep being on Omega's team. It's just very good. Never had much issue with the friend system. I don't think... Oh, no, this is clown bullshit. I'm sorry, buddy. This is just, like, horrible. Like, the second I see someone saying this, bro, stop. Just hard stop. Stop it. Stop it. This is... Dude, you're a villain fan? Brother. Let's not start. I mean, I don't know how much he's running Tao. You literally can't find Tao on the list. He doesn't exist. Baby... I mean, lately, I have been good in terms of Baby. I don't know if people have still left him as their friend lead or what, but it's never Rainbow Babies, but it is like 79% Baby. Remember, Omega and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, like the big celebration characters, you're never going to have trouble finding them, even if it's like a big villain. Like these guys, and then these guys, although Rose is a shitty leader, but like you could find those four easily, right? But once you're outside of one of these major celebration slots looking for characters, good luck, dude. Right? Like, one of the biggest issues I had with STR Cell when he dropped was I was just constantly, it was a parade of 55% link level and friends, and I just could do nothing. Like, because Cell, I mean, his kit was brutal for running 2 cells. But, like, it's just, no, this is just factually wrong. I'm sorry. Like, I hate even... I am very sensitive about any defense of the friend system whatsoever. I am. Like, I will get really... Because I personally believe this to be probably the biggest actual issue with the game, is it just keeps people from playing how they want to play. There's, again, people who want to run the Boda Magetta lineup, and, I mean, outside of... You're not going to find this unit on your friends list unless you're asking your friends to set this character, right? Like, people want to play how they want to play, and I am so sick of dealing with the friend system, because we're talking about 10 years of this shit, right? Like, they definitely, there is no excuse, because at the community fest, I mean, Amatsu kind of walking through the crowd, like, people shook his hand, and the friend system, they saying it to his face over and over, over and over and over and over. And then when I had my sit down, they said, like, I mentioned friend system. They started laughing. They started belly laughing. Yeah, we heard. Yeah, you better, Ken. Oh, man. All right, here we go. Easy top 10 contender right now. Okay, so I think we're gonna see our next Dokkan Fest reveal. I think I'm gonna upload this video today on the 26th. I think it should be. So what day is the 26th? Oh my god, next Wednesday, yeah. Next Wednesday, well, at 3 a.m. my time, is when I think we will see the next Dokkan Fest shown to us. So, we'll see that. And I mean, my goal is to get a top 10 TUR list out before then. Maybe Buhan. Buhan is, in many instances, very weak to boss mechanics, though. That's the thing. Like Buhan, he could get caught up pretty devilishly by, like, an AoE. Well, I guess it would depend how many rainbow orbs you get from him, right? Let me pull up Buhan's kit again. Just make sure I'm remembering it correctly here. Because he gets damage reduction with rainbow orbs, right? Yeah, it's more than I even thought, though. God damn. Okay. I mean, maybe, I guess, like, so, probably in, like, 2 days from now, it's gonna feel like there's, like, damn, like, what am I uploading in terms of content? That's where, like, I will try and probably get a couple of videos. I don't know about doing long videos, because, like, the thing people gotta understand is, so, like, let's just go to the long video showcase. So, like, everyone's, oh, like, do this as a long video, do this as a long video. Like, I could get them out here and there, but they take a long time. Like, let me go. So, like, I don't know, this is 2 hours and 54 minutes was the Goma long video. I mean, that probably took, you know, overall, like, 4 hours. Like, it's huge recording sessions to do, like, those ones. I was going to do the AJL Kid Gohan one today, but I'm going to do a festival, like, turn-by-turn guide, I think, instead, is what I'm going to do today. Because people have been asking for that. Like, so, we'll do that. Like, a festival turn-by-turn guide. And I'll probably try and do AJL Kid Gohan long video tomorrow. That's probably what I'll try and do. So, all right, we got that. Yeah, we'll see, though. We'll see. I'm going to try and make a good top 10 to our list. We'll see how it's going to look. All right, so there's Buhan right there. Completely fine with fusions only being an active skill attack. Well, okay. So, if they're going to use, like a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on an upcoming character as, like, an active skill attack, it's not going to feel that bad. The point is, I think, so, like, people were very upset with the blues, right? And the reason is because we haven't had, like, dominant Vegito blue for many years, is the thing, right? Like, I hadn't even really thought of it until talking with Minato, and then I think it was someone else's idea, but, you know, it's just, like, new era players have never had, like, you know, top 5 Vegito blue, like, dominant, just Vegito blue dominating, the way Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is right now. So it's like, in that instance, no, it's not good as just an active skill attack. But if it's going to be something like, again, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who we've been using, you know, 3 different Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas who are super top tier, I think he, on, like, the next, like, you know, Super Saiyan, like, LR Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and he has, like, an active skill, like, where he just fuses with Goku as a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta attack. That would be fine. If that's, like, you know, an 11th anniversary character or, like, a GDC character next year or something like that, I think that's fine. Because we've been spammed with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So, like, context matters for this. So, Vegito Blue being an active skill attack is trash. Donkey. Bullshit. But, like, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the next one, like, you know, I don't think it would be a big deal. I mean, as long as it's, like, within the next year. Because once you start getting multiple years away from, like, a character being relevant, it's like, okay, like, ready to get a new one, right? Usually means the animation's incredible and the unit still gets all the fusion categories. That is huge, yeah. Time limit, you know, fusion, fuse fighter, like the gods, like all that type of stuff, yeah. Fusion Reborn, Super Saiyan 3 Goku with a Super Gogeta. Yeah, I would probably be okay with this right now. Because remember, we had the really crazy EZA Super Gogeta in 2024. And now AJL Gogeta. I mean, he's got some issues, the AJL Super Gogeta, but still been a very, very good character most of the year, right? So, like, yeah, sure. I don't like, have a problem with this. Having free-to-play units not easy and release, yes. Well, they actually started this last year with Paragus. Paragus, I believe Paragus is the first unit where it's just like, oh, they're just not easying. Okay. The problem is that Paragus fucking sucks ass. Paragus is absolutely, he was a donkey on release. Because I remember I was looking at him, at first I think I thought that this was his SSR, and I was like, damn, not only is this his SSR, he's still going to get his TUR Awakening, and he's going to still get an ECA, he might be very good. But then found out, oh no, this is TUR kit, and he's also not ECing, and I mean, he's ass. But yes, that is good. That is good, for sure. Oh no, I think his release animations are fine. What? Something about him feel kind of lackluster impact-wise? No, I didn't really have issues. I mean, then again, animations I don't usually, like, trip on too hard, like, in most situations, but yeah. I've had no issues with the GDC events. Find them very fun and replayable. Didn't feel the power creep that much. I mean, it's just it wiped again. My point is that it mostly wiped out all the start of the like all those characters from the start of the year just have like very rough times in there. Pretty much all of them. Catching a few L's here and there. Well, I would say this point is potentially even less about, you know, like what do I say? I wouldn't even use like experienced players or dedicated players, but like I don't know, like someone who just plays the game a lot all day every day, right? Whatever. Like the power creep not going to be the big deal. But I've talked about this before. Like I'm in, you know, like GDC that's like Dokkan sports and stuff, and like with like some more just kind of like casual players, right? And I mean, you know, they'll hop into one of these events with some of these characters and just get blown away and say, I'm not doing that. Fuck it. I'm not doing that shit. Right. Like, so I do think that the power creep was a little too much for GDC. He holds up well on Omega's full power absorption setup. Yeah, I mean, we can make it work. It is going to hold us back from being able to use Omega's active, but I mean, if we're talking about that Goku Black and Zamasu fight, this would at least... Let me just double check what the domain is. This doesn't buff Goku Black and Zamasu, right? I'd need to double check what exactly it is. It's Transformation Boost and Buu Saga is what it buffs, right? Tech Buhan? Power Absorption or Transformation Boost. Okay. And I just want to double check that Rose and Zamasu are not on power, or they're not Transformation Boost. Yeah. So yeah, you could do that. And you know, you'd be able to get his domain up, buffing your team, but you're not buffing Rose and Zamasu the same way you would, if you're running, Omega's domain, right? Omega's domain is buffing the enemies, which is not good when those boys hit as hard as they do. Tech Gogeta's 12 keys, the worst animation of the year. Let's watch it in full again. I mean, watching it on this site, we're going to lose a little bit of, like, the impact and stuff, but, like, whatever. Like, let's just take a look at it. He said worst animation of the year? Worst animation of the year. Let's, I'm going to just add an extra condition. Premium summonable units. So we're not going to pull up, like, some fucking free-to-play character to compare it. Let's see. Because it's reused. It's mostly reused. All right, that's why. That's why we're saying that. Oh, and then it just ends with that fist. Yeah, okay. I mean, I could see it because certainly I feel like he attacks right there. Like he punches at the end and then finishes it with some type of ki blast. I think would add more kind of like impact to it. I don't know that I'd say that's the worst of the year. Let me just take a quick glance at what we've got here. I don't think any of the I mean, I know some people didn't like some of these anniversary character animations, but I don't think that they would qualify for this. Definitely not the Daima character. Let me see Cells again. You could maybe say Cells. Cell has a little bit of the same thing going on where it's a good part of it is reused. This is definitely, I would say this probably is better though than the Gogeta 12 key, right? Maybe. Maybe it is the worst. Oh. I mean, I think you could say Blue Kaioken if you want to be frustrated that, if you want to be frustrated that he's not screaming in some of those animations. Yeah, maybe it is that Gogeta 12 key. I could see it. I don't really get bothered by the reuse of animations. Yeah, definitely not Tao, definitely not Tien. I don't think I'm very crazy about Tien's 12 key either. Let me see this again. Let me watch this. I guess, to be fair, I don't see this one that much. Nah, that has a lot more... energy than Gogeta's. Is that a good way to describe? Like this, I feel like there's a lot more. I mean, without the OSTs and stuff playing and sound effects, but this feels like there's a lot more energy. Like that shot, like when he is up in the air smirking, about to fire off the Dodon. Like that does. I think that part just solos the whole Gogeta animation right here. Like that. I don't know. That's kind of raw. There's a lot of energy to that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Probably. This is the worst one. Believer of the Dokkan hype gauge. Okay. Post the 10th anniversary was going down and down. What could have been Savior's Diamond Vegeta? I mean, we didn't really feel the... How do I word it? Like, the impact of Diamond Vegeta being a fumble, because it's like, we're leaving the 10th anniversary, which, I mean, as we're leaving the 10th anniversary, people were not, like this whole, like, people get, like, they act like the 10th anniversary is like the worst celebration in Dokkan history nowadays. There wasn't as much of that right at when we were leaving the celebration. I think it's more so people became frustrated with the red zone fights being boring towards the end of it, which really bothered them. And then, I don't know, like, people just kind of got stuck in their thoughts and started to just, like, nitpick the 10th anniversary to death. But, like, we leave the 10th anniversary, and then it's like, oh, there's an EX part, and then it's just fucking Daima. It was just so hype, even if Daima Vegeta wasn't really that crazy. I don't, like, if Blue Kaioken was, like, the best release of the... This is the thing where people get lost in the sauce, unfortunately. If Blue Kaioken was the best TUR of the year, it would not have changed how dry this period was with Tao. It wouldn't have. If Blue Kaioken was straight up the best TUR in the game, it would not have... Whoops. It would not have changed this. It wouldn't. Like, I'm sorry, but Tao himself has a huge portion of that. There are these... kind of like, you know, players are kind of accustomed to these certain dry periods, and that, like, June part is definitely one of them. You know, October and November right now are typically some of them. Goma had a lot of energy when he first released, but, I mean, that was now 10 days ago, right? So it's been quite a while. But no, people, they do this. I don't know why. It's just, they just want to, like, fucking defend, like, the low hype characters. Listen, the way we defend Tao is we talk about how he's one of the best low hype characters Dokkan's ever dropped in terms of his performance. But, like, people make all, like, bro, people just don't give a fuck about Tao. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. They just don't give two fucking shits about him. That's all. We've talked about it over and over and over and over and over. I've enjoyed 2025 Dokkan quite a bit, as have I. Yeah. Didn't feel the insane deadness people talk about between Anniversary and GDC. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit embellished because it's pretty typical, some of these, like, dead spots. The start of the Cell celebration was very good. April Fool's Day was awesome this year, right? But then April does feel dead every year. I think it's still... People are going to be, like, louder complaining about this now since Global and JP are synced. And, I mean, it's just always... Like, I feel like next year, like, it's going to be pushed up even to a level higher. It's crazy, but the sync has unfortunately led to way more complaining. I thought people were going to be, like, chillaxing. How naive I was, huh? I thought they were going to be chilling. Oh, we're caught up. Yeah, whatever. We're all happy. La, la, la. I thought it was going to be sunshine and fucking flowers, and that's not... No way, dude. People are angrier than they ever have been every second of every day, dude. Never been angrier ever, so... Yeah. So far, right alongside 2024. I agree. I feel like if someone says 2024, they slam their fist down and say 2024 is the best year in Dokkan. I feel like you could get me there pretty easily, but I don't know that I'd put another year above 2025 besides 2024. I would say that. Yeah, because, I mean, you know, DKD is saying GDC Part 2, but the whole of GDC. GDC Part 1 fucking kicked ass, too. So, yeah, grind. Yep, everyone make sure you grind it in. Everyone make sure to grind it in. Make sure you grind it in. All right, pretty good. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I mean, what is it? Only, how many takes? What is this? This is like 10 tweets, 12? We only got up to 15, and I blabbered away for 34 minutes. Pretty good. Let me know what you guys think. Again, remember, I think the 26th is when we should be seeing the next Dokkan Fest, like, you know, like information and Dokkan event and Twitter, all that stuff. Probably should be on the 26th. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch y'all next time.